Hey everyone, it's Strange Michael. I hope you're doing well today. I have a review here for a film that I have seen twice now, matter of fact, and I would say personally, it's one of the scariest movies I've ever seen. First and foremost, this is not a hidden horrors video, despite I put another film from 2014 that I love called Taking of Deborah Logan in that category. Both of those films don't have the notoriety they deserve, but like Taking of Deborah Logan is a whole nother level of people not knowing what that was, whereas this has a reputation, and most people, I would say, in the horror community have heard of this movie, and they just haven't seen it yet, or they have, and they either loved it or didn't like it as much, whatever. So this one is not a hidden horrors video, but this is a massive recommendation of a movie for me, under the right circumstances, and you have to trust me on that. First and foremost, Lake Mungo from 2008 is an absolute horror masterpiece, and I said it. It's not really a found footage film. A lot of people advertise it as that. It's more of a mockumentary, which is a fake documentary style with interviews and that kind of thing, and I love it. I had this recommended to me years ago by Chris Stuckman, the famous YouTube movie critic who is now under a lot of fire. And let me tell you, his recommendation alone was enough to finally get me to watch this movie. And back in the day, I loved what this was a part of, the After Dark Horror Fest. This was part of number 4. When I was growing up, there were 2 movies that I saw from the After Dark Horror Fest that I loved deeply. Thank God for the Sci-Fi Channel. Was number 1, Dark Ride, which I still love to this day. I plan on reviewing that this summer, or maybe re-reviewing it. I may have reviewed that at one point on this channel, but it needs a new review. I want to re-review a lot of the stuff I did back in the day, just because I don't like a lot of the videos from back then at the old house I lived in, how noisy it was outside. The videos weren't as what I would consider to be what I like to put out, but they were kind of rushed and so on and so on. But anyway, Dark Ride, the other film I grew up on that I loved from this series of After Dark horror films was called The Grave Dancers, another really creepy kind of lower budget horror film. And for you kids out there who don't know what After Dark Horror Fest was, basically it was every year around Halloween for like 4 years in a row, you had like 2 new horror films that were kind of lower budget under this label that would get released together in the theaters, and you would see them for just that 1 week basically, and then they would be gone and eventually make their way out to DVD. I only own those 2, Dark Ride and The Grave Dancers, but now I own Lake Mungo. Bought this with some gift card money for Christmas from Amazon, and I don't think you can even get a Blu-ray of this. I think it has to be a DVD, matter of fact. This movie, I saw it for the first time right before I got married, or right around the time I got married, and I'm going to tell you, it scared the shit out of me. It scared me so bad that I had to sleep with the lights on for about 2 days. I'll be honest with you. It's true, I'm a grown man. I was like 28? No, I would have been like 26. I'm not 30 yet. I slept with the lights on, to be honest with you, and it scared the shit out of me, particularly in the ending, which I won't spoil for you. But again, this is a fake documentary about a family who had a daughter who drowned, and now it's just the mom, the dad, and the younger son, who was like high school age or whatever. And they talk about how after the daughter drowned, weird things began to happen around the house. They felt like they could hear noises. They felt like they were seeing things out of the corner of their eyes. At one point, they set up cameras around the house before this documentary is supposedly filmed about all of this stuff. And they were thinking they were catching some stuff on camera. And the more that things would go on time-wise, they would find out more things about this daughter who had passed away and kind of her secret life they really didn't know about. And that's all I want to tell you. But the film is kind of a ghost haunted house movie, if you will, even though it's a fake documentary. Let me tell you, you need to watch this with the lights out. You need to watch it by yourself. And if you watch it with somebody else, they have to be the kind of person who's not going to talk throughout the entire film, because I've dealt with people like that and you want to smack them in the face. But it's not only that, you need to watch this in a dark room, no lights on, no cell phone around. You need to watch it and pay attention to the film, because I will tell you, by the end of it, if you don't have a chill down your spine, there's something wrong with you. There's something wrong with you. I'm a huge horror fan. I've seen mostly everything. But let me tell you, this film is one of those movies that scares the shit out of me. It's like Antrim, the deadliest film ever made, or Eraserhead. There's something about those movies that bother me so deeply, in almost a primal way. This movie does that too. Lake Mungo hits me in a way deep inside of me that freaks me the fuck out. I'll be honest with you. There's something about it. Every time I've watched it, well, I guess the one time I've watched it since the first time I saw it, which was recently after this DVD came in the mail, and I watched this right after I rewatched Taking of Deborah Logan for like the 8th or 9th time. Lake Mungo takes so much out of me every time I watch it that I have to kind of spread it out. It's kind of like when I was reading Death Note, and I'm still reading Death Note, because I have to take like 6-month breaks between each book because of how tense it gets. Lake Mungo is like that too. Every viewing has to happen a couple of years apart because of how much this movie fucks with me when I see it, because of how horrifically scary it is. The film, despite it being mostly interviews and kind of location shots and behind-the-scenes crime investigation stuff, despite it feeling like a Forensic Files episode, there's something about it that lingers throughout the entire film. It has this looming end-of-the-world presence to it, and I don't know how to explain it better than that, but there's something about the gloom of this movie that gets me more than most movies do. And I've seen a lot of horror films, like I said, but this one, for whatever reason, is burned into my brain. The feeling of watching it is burned into my brain, almost mimicking the kind of happy, comedic laughter feeling that Friday the 13th burned into my brain when I was a child. It's the opposite. This one, truly on a primal way, scares me. I don't know what it is about it. Maybe it's with how real it feels. And it doesn't look like a low-budget film like a lot of these After Dark horror fest films felt back in the day, because this one is so contained, so small. You know, it's not a super long film or anything, but just the way it's shot, the way the interviews are conducted, the way the writing of this was, and the performance of these people playing the mom, the dad, the son. There's something about it that just, it puts a chill down my spine. It gives me goosebumps thinking about it, and even talking about it right here, I have a little bit of goosebumps. But I love it. I think it is absolutely a masterpiece, and if you've not seen it, you are missing out. Yes, it's not the most, I don't want to say not engaging, but it's not like flashing things in your face all the time. There are no jump scares in this film, which if that sounds like your kind of movie, dude, this is the recommendation for you to check out. Lake Mungo, or Mungo, I've heard people pronounce it many different ways. Lake Mungo scares the hell out of me. It is an absolute horror masterpiece, and the fact that the guy that made this and wrote it has never done anything else as far as I know. I don't know what happened to the guy. Is he dead? Is he alive? Whoever made this shit, dude, you need to make more films. Don't even do like found footage. Do fake documentaries like this, or like the one I just reviewed a couple of days ago called Howard's Mill, which I really liked. Very different from this, but kind of the same with the mockumentary style. Lake Mungo, if you've not seen it, please take my recommendation. Even if it doesn't sound like something you would like, or if you're burnt out on haunted house movies or ghost movies or whatever, watch it. Give me a chance. Check it out and watch it. It's usually on Tubi and Shudder and so many places. I've seen it on over and over again. I don't know how that's possible to stream on multiple platforms at once, but it's possible. I'm telling you, every second, every cent that you spend on this will be worth the money. I really believe that. If I had to rate Lake Mungo on a 5-star basis, this absolute masterpiece, without a doubt, is a 5 out of 5-star rating for me. I just love it. I love everything about it. And again, I wish I could have made this a hidden horrors video for my segment on my channel, but so many people know about this movie, there's just no point to do that. It's just super popular in general. But dude, it's a classic. It's an absolute classic from 2008 of all years, the same year of Iron Man and Dark Knight. No wonder this was overshadowed, you know? And those had come out right before this, like months before it, during the summertime. So, like 3 months later, you get October, and this comes out, and no one knew about it. No one. I don't know anybody who knows about this movie in my personal, in real life, IRL, whatever situation, but they've heard of it now. They haven't watched it, but they've heard of it. My mom has heard about this movie and never seen it. Tried to get her to watch the first 10 minutes after it scared me so bad back in the day she couldn't get into it. But she doesn't like this found footage mockumentary style anyway, so I kind of get why. But for people who like documentaries in general, check it out. There's something about it that will fuck you up, I promise you. 5 out of 5 stars. Anyway, Lake Mungo, is that a big enough recommendation for you? I hope it is, and I hope you check it out. And if you took my recommendation and went and watched it, let me know what you thought about it. Any kind of recommendations in the future you guys have, by the way, I don't think I made this clear enough in previous videos. Any kind of recommendations at all that you guys have for kind of films that you think are hidden gems or whatever, put them down in the comments section. Let me know, and I'll go check them out and review them probably. Thank you all. God bless you. Let me know what you think about the movie if you have seen it, or if you plan on seeing it, or if you did see it and you're coming back to let me know what you thought about it. I'd love to hear all of that down below. Thank you guys for watching. Is this the scariest film you've ever seen? And if it's not, what is? I want to know that too, because I might talk about it here on the channel. Thank you all. God bless you again, and goodbye.